I'm mute. I'm on mute. Danny was waiting. She was waiting for me to say a couple of those profanity words. Diane, I have not been able to get to my coffee yet. And I just saw you sip on that cup of Joe. And I was just like, I got to get to my coffee. Oh, like Danny's got her coffee. Who's got coffee? Heather's got she's got some potion. I did start that. I did watermelon, beets, blueberries, and lime juice. And I've been doing that now for about almost 5 weeks. And I mean, it's not the most scrumptious thing. I don't mind it, but it's really good. It cleans out. Just take a look at that. You should see it for those that are looking for like a cleansing and reduce inflammation. It's really good. So good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all. Yes, Mickey Mouse is not back there. It is just Leo in his normal spot grinding. He is just getting ready to get after the day. So I got a topic for you all here. What is your breaking point in your life? And I got a story behind it. So for those taking notes, that's what it's all about today. Till we get there, good morning to you all. Good morning to you. Good morning to you in Facebook world. I got Facebook going on as well as I do on Zoom here today. Got a little crazy. I'm back in the grind, back into the last week of summer vacation. All, and it doesn't seem possible. We were at Disney last week. Disney, Chris Reshitar is like, man, you've been hard to get a hold of. I said, bud, trust me, I am. It's a best of both worlds. I'm enjoying it, but it's been a lot this summer. We kind of were on our drive. We drove down to Disney, so I had a lot of windshield time and just a lot of reflecting, being just so thankful. We've been in Topsail Island, Outer Banks, Key West. I've been in the mountains. I've been now at Disney. So it's been a lot this summer. Blessed and fortunate, but I'm a routine guy. I'm a routine person, and I am looking forward to getting back into some normalcy. And then what do you know? The last week, Christian, of my normalcy, just pray for me. My daughter turns 13 tomorrow. So it's her birthday tomorrow. And then 7 years ago, we were just like, please don't be born on the same day as Brielle. Please don't be. Because Bryce turns 7 on Thursday. So we got back-to-back birthdays this week. Just a lot going on. Just never a dull moment, Heather. Never a dull moment. So that's what I got this week. So just very thankful. I got one of my vision boards over here. Bryce gave me one of those. So I have that in front of me, and I got a topic that I was listening to while I was doing my drive, and everybody else in the car was. So I get my time to listen in and do some podcasts that I like. So good morning to everybody. My name's Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And so it's been a DAD type of moment for me this last month. And I'm looking forward to getting back in the grind. Like I said, getting back into some normalcy. Put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. How many of you like normalcy? How many of you like routine? Okay. Put a 5 in the chat if you like that. Now, pay attention to this next question. Put a 7 in the chat if you feel you're just not at the schedule that you want. Like you wish there's like another level that you feel that you can have some discipline, some like I can really tighten up some things in my calendar, tighten up some things in my day. Put a 7 if you like you're not quite there yet and you're working on it. Let's see what we got going on over here. I haven't even, let me open it. Okay, so we do have some 5s and then now some more 7s. What the client texts me. I certainly will, Lindsay. So Tamara, we're gonna dive into a little bit of that today, to some aspect. But I like normalcy. I like routine. And so I'm just excited to be back to it. So needless to say, let's do our affirmation. Let's do our affirmation that we have. Now, while we do our affirmation, I'm going to ask everybody, even in the Facebook world, I want you to say it, and I want you to unmute yourself over here in Zoom. Unmute yourself, so that way I can hear everybody's wonderful, chiming, unison, voices that we have. So on the count of three, I want you to really say it that you really mean it. This is a new week, new opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to grow into yourself and to help somebody else out, whatever that might look like. So on the count of three, we're all saying it together. 1, 2, and 3.
Something good is going to happen to me.
Good is going to happen
Through me.
You just always those people at the end. They just want to get Rosario. I heard Rosario's voice at the end. She just wanted that 1%, just a little bit more today. So here I go. So today's topic. What is your breaking point? Where do you break? Let me elaborate a little bit more on this and kind of share with you a little bit about what transpired. So Mike Castor and I, we speak every Monday morning at 8 a.m. And he's been sending me a lot of stuff about Nick Saban, Coach Saban. Didn't really like the guy at first. I thought he was, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought he was a prick. I thought he was just one of those type of coaches that he was an a-hole. Let's just call it how it is. And I started to learn the guy. How many of you, you don't have to put anything in the chat, but how many of you have an opinion about somebody and then you start to learn about them and you're like, boy, I was off on that. Oof, boy, that was really wrong. I really should have kept my thoughts to myself a little bit more before I make my own judgment. I had that with Coach Saban. Then I started to study more about the guy, started to understand him. Then I didn't understand his relationship that he had with Bill Belichick and how they actually met back in the Cleveland Brown days. And so here are two very, very successful coaches, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. And I would follow the Patriots more than I follow Saban until Mike Kastner kept telling me, you need to listen to him. You need to listen to him. I'm like, okay, man, he's good. He's very good on what he has done to take programs. I started to learn about his programs and where he was. He moved 17 times, 17 times in his career. And he's so appreciative of his wife. He's so appreciative of his family and his circle, because successful people cannot be successful without having the people be solid around them. Nobody is successful by themselves. If they are, they're just an ego narcissistic prick that I would just remove yourself from, in all honesty. And so we had the story or the podcast that I was listening to wasn't really about a breaking point. It was a defining moment that he had, but he reverted back to this moment. And so I'm going to share with you this story and let you digest it in your own world, in your own life, of what you are thinking about. So he moved down to Florida and he bought a house. And when he bought the house, he needed to go and he needed to replace the windows. Now, I heard this story about 2 years ago. Mike Ferry always says you should read books several times, watch videos several times, like learn things, because you're in a different perspective. So the first time I heard this story, I was broke, and the whole breaking was what I was really emphasizing on, because I was broke and I was breaking everywhere, and I was just like, oh, I was a mess. This time, I was in a totally different perspective as I'm driving, just came back from Disney, and I'm listening to this story. And so as he's getting these new windows, well, what do? You call companies and you get what? Estimates. Normal scarcity-minded people will ask this question. What's the best deal you can get me? What's the cost? How much does it cost? What is it going to cost me? We do it in coaching. We do it in grocery. We do it in everything. How much is it going to cost me? I think Christian said it the other day. It was just like, what's it going to cost if you don't do it? Your opportunity cost, it's called, I believe. And so Coach Saban asked this question. He goes, tell me about the windows. Didn't ask the price. What's the value of this window? What's the value of yourself? What's the value of what you're getting yourself into? What's the value of you being on this show here this morning and why you commit to yourself every morning at 8:15? What is the value of it? So Coach Saban asks this to these people, and guess what? Some of them didn't know an answer. I don't know. They're just really good windows. You can see out of them. Right? So he says, one of the guys says, well, these are hurricane windows. Hurricane windows? Huh. Okay. Well, let me ask you this question then, sir. At what point will these hurricane windows break? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Has your company ever tested that these things are at a certain mile per hour, that these windows will have a breaking point and they will shatter? So I like to know what the breaking point is, because if it's a cat 1 or a cat 2, I don't think that there's going to be value in here, because isn't there some hurricanes that come across here that are a 3 and a 4? And could my windows break at that point? So I like to know what the breaking point is. So he took this conversation, this call, and he started to bring it into the football world, into his team. And today I'm going to bring it into you all. Because at a certain point, those windows will break. Now, let me ask you this question, everybody. Would it be fair to say, this is going to be a yes or yes type of question, so be ready for it. I'm already giving you the answer. Is it fair to say that hurricane windows 10 years ago, compared to the ones today, the ones today are a little bit stronger than they were 10 years ago? Would you all agree with me on that? Would you agree that they've tested the windows? They've made them more durable. But what had to happen to the windows in order to make the windows stronger? What had to happen to the windows? They've had to break. They've had to go through a storm. They've had to go through some challenges. They've had to get some pressure put onto them. They've had to have strong winds, rain, hail. Everything you possibly can imagine had to happen to those windows to make them stronger, to make them more durable. So as I was going through this, Jennifer, and I was having this conversation, I was listening in, and everybody was snoring away, I asked myself the question that I'm about to ask you all. What is your breaking point? At what point will you break? And then I started, because I'm very weird, and I just started to ask myself a lot of questions while I'm driving. I'm on 95. I don't like that highway. I'm on Interstate 95, and I'm driving north, and I said to myself, Brock, besides breaking, where have you also been broken that you've grown through? What are some points in your life that you've actually grown through? Like where were some breaking points you had a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago? And I started to go through all this process of my breaking. And I started to reflect on it. And I really, really took a deep, I mean, guys, I'm in the car. It was a 9-hour trip and everybody was sleeping. I had nothing but the windshield in my head. And sometimes that's not a good place. And sometimes it's a good place. And I started to really think about this question. And I'm going to say something that's going to be very, very, it's going to sound crazy. But I've learned from this. A very severe thing would have to take place to break me at this point in my life. To the point of something that I don't even like to even say, but it has to do with my kids. that something would had to happen to them in order for me to break. I've been through too much personal stuff that you really mentally, physically, emotionally, you cannot break me. You can tell me you don't like me. You can take my money. You could take my car. You could take my house. If you take my kids, I think I would have a little problem with that one. It almost happened to me. Wendy and I were discussing some things over Disney. We went out to dinner Saturday and she asked me certain questions and why I do certain things with my children. And I said, I have something that most people don't have. I have a DSS file against me. And if somebody says or looks at me or says that I did something in the strangest way, I'm a little nervous that they might file a report on me because I've had it happen to me. And if they go back in there when I opened the door, the threshold of where I was when her name, I think I even, Marsha, I put it in one of these drawers, right, that I had here. And it's the letter the DSS gave me. Open the door and says, sir, we're not too sure if you're a suitable father for your kids. We got to come in here and never talk to you. I keep that letter. So it keeps me in check. It reminds me that you are not immune to the world, Brock, that you have to stay within guidelines and certain things, but it also motivates me. It gets me a little fired up. So I have to be a little careful. But that was when I was driving, that was to me my breaking point, that would really. Now see, thank you, Diane. Breaking points are also done to help you or help somebody else out. That's why when I say something good is going to happen to me, something good is going to happen through me. See, when people reach out to me and say, hey, Brock, I got a lawsuit on my hands. I'm working with the gentleman today. I now coach single dads and helping them. And nothing against single moms by any means. I'm not trying to be mean, but the court treats single dads a little differently. And it's because there's a lot of bad fathers out there who just don't do what they're supposed to do. And I'll be damned if I'll be one of them. I don't have to agree with the courts, but they're still my kids. And I still will take care of them. But something good can happen to me and through me, so I get to help other people. The through me part is something that we sometimes forget because we're all about the person in the mirror. And we're only in the person in the mirror for a certain time period. And then we want to go look out the window because we want to blame everybody else except taking the ownership. The breaking points all are done on purpose to help you grow in yourself and other people. And so I'm going to go back to the question. What is your breaking point? What is your breaking point that could take place? And then I'm going to ask you this question, because this one's a really, really hard one. And when I was at Disney, I got to see it. What is your plan when you're at your breaking point? What is your plan when you're at your breaking point? Coach Todd shared about a year ago a really good message. Practicing a fire prevention or fire drill with your kids during a fire is not going to turn out very well. And I remember him saying that, and I was like, damn, I don't have a fire ladder in Braille's room. I don't have a fire extinguisher in my house, and I don't have a fire plan for my kids if we were to happen to have a fire. Because guess what, all? The breaking point when a fire comes, it's what? It's too late. It's too late to come up with a plan at that point. How many of us have an opportunity today to create a plan for our worst breaking point? It's not fun, but it's good to have a plan. It's good to be like, okay, if this was to happen, because what happened, where I saw it really take place, for those of you who've been to Disney, those guys are rock solid. And you got to believe that they got a lot of problems throughout the day, don't they? But they still say this. Hey, friends, welcome. Hi, friends. Glad you're here. Hey, friends. Leo, I know those are our friends too. Leo likes to bark at everybody. Enough, Leo. But you got to be able to pivot, adjust, churn. Breaking points are done for you to get to the blessing. Breaking points are done for you to learn. You can expedite your breaking process if you have the correct plan in place. Don't wait for it to be too late. Talk to somebody that's on this show here today. Hey, what did you think about this? I had somebody ask me about some attorney. They got an attorney letter. Well, let me just share with you some things that I think about an attorney. Diane asked Derek a question about becoming or franchising something. You don't know answers until you ask questions. You can't prepare a plan if you don't ask questions. And sometimes we have to go through experiences in order to transform into a plan. And that's okay. That's what we call wisdom. Wisdom are typically not newborns. They're not teenagers, even though my daughter thinks she is. They're people who've been through many experiences, been through many challenges. And we go and we ask our parents, we go ask somebody who's been around the block. How many of you heard of that? Been around the block. Why? Is because they have experiences, they have wisdom, they have knowledge, they had many breaking points that they can expedite your process of learning and growing. That's why mentors and coaches, that's why when you go to train with Kane and you go into that, is because they help you get through the process faster. Like, hey, careful of this loophole. So today, when you're thinking of some breaking points, I want you to think of some of these areas. One is in your relationship. And I want you to look at your relationship with your significant other, your kids. See, breaking points in reference into that is sometimes like, if they do that one more time, if he comes through that room one door drunk again, that's it. How many of us do it financially? If my bank account gets below this dollar amount, that's it. All in. I really got to do something. Why the hell does it have to get to that number? Just pretend it's that number then. Why do you got to get to that threshold? Breaking many times is preventive. If we approach with the right plan, if we talk to the right people, we get in the right rooms, we have the right conversations. Be like, you know what? All right. I guess I needed this in order for me to do this so I don't have to go to this. That's what happened to my drinking. People say, like, what happened to you in drinking? What made you? I just knew I was not doing the right things, that eventually it would get me to a really darker place than I already was in. At the time period, I didn't lose my family. I didn't lose my house. I didn't lose these things at the time. I just knew I was on a path, and God knew that if I was drunk, because I ended up losing all of that stuff, but I was sober when I lost it. Because if I was drunk, I don't know what I would have done. So in the quiet moments, the time periods that things aren't going your way, that's God's preparation. That's him putting you in the soil and fertilizing you, and you got to be in the dark, deep soil in order to grow, but you got to have that happen first. So those things were taking place. How many of you in your business life not getting the deals you want? What's your breaking point in your business? How many deals do you need to do per month? 1, 5, 15? What does that look like for speaking? What does that look like for coaching? What does that look like for talking to people? How many strangers are you going to talk to today? Congratulations, Danny, on your job, by the way. How many of you got to take it to the next level? I'm not too sure. I don't know how. See, when he talked about breaking and that moment that window broke, a force was put on there, which was called action. Without the action, it wouldn't have happened. So today, besides asking the question, where am I breaking? Besides asking the question, what is my plan if I was to break? What am I going to do? Who am I going to call? Is it fair to say when we're in a breaking moment, we're probably emotional as well? And do you think right when you're emotional? How many of you said something and you're just like, damn, I should not have said that? And it's because you made a comment based off an emotion that you were feeling and you made a reaction. Sometimes one of the things that Wendy and I were talking is just like, you just, is because I try to, I work my emotions inside. I've already said things I don't want to say. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Can't get in trouble that way to some aspect. I'm not saying between Wendy and I, but like I was dealing with the kids. There's certain things I do, certain things I don't do. There's certain things you all do. How do you react? How many of you are a hothead? You know, they always say, you know, you're from New York. We expect that out of you. Diane. Right? But people already title us before we walk into the room. Maybe something they've read, something they've seen. John Maxwell always says that your title will walk into the room before you do. What is your title? What are people looking at? And can you change their perspective just like Nick Saban changed my perspective as he got to know the person? So that's what I have for you all today. If you got something out of today, put a 10 in the chat, I got about a minute or two. Anybody like to say something, anything that they'd like to share? Feel free, raise your hand, come off of mute. I don't mind awkward pauses, but I always love it when I get to hear people. Good. A lot of 10s. Awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all. See, it's easy to do the 10s. That's what everybody's good at. So it's like, all right, I put a 10 in the chat. I'm off the hook. Anybody like to say anything? Come on now. I only have my cup of coffee. I normally sip something.
I just wanted to say thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Danny. Congratulations to you. Yeah, your mom texted me. I was so happy for you on that. That was a long journey, wasn't it? How many breaking moments did you have?
More than I'm willing to admit.
I remember talking to you in Key West, and you were going through some mountains and going through some things. So congratulations to you on
Thank
your new
you.
job. When do you start your new job?
September 1st.
September 1st?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So it's good timing with the move and everything.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you. Well done. Well
you.
done overcoming that. Anybody else have anything they would like to say before we head on out on this Monday? We are a supporter of your tribe. Proud of you. Yes, proud of you. For those of you, you like hearing this stuff. Several of you, your movement, you've changed drastically. I love watching a lot of you make your move. Get your early bird tickets to Nashville. All early bird tickets to Nashville. The links are in there. There's two. There's general admission and the VIP. If you like the booze cruise, the happy hour, wait until you see what we got in Nashville. It's going to be pretty cool. Also, how many of you want a t-shirt? I'm going to put the t-shirt out today. The t-shirt is going out today. Jay just put it in. We got the all in, and we're going to do something special also for those of you who are coming to Nashville. We're going to be doing it whiteout, just like Penn State does at their games, where you all wear the same color. We're going to be doing something silly. We're going to be doing something fun. So if you want the t-shirt in here, you got to let us know, because I'm doing a pre-order and I can only do a max. I can only do a max of 25 to start the pre-order. So if you want the t-shirt in there, put it in there so that way we can get you the link to pre-order for the all-in t-shirt. I really like it. It's pretty cool. All right, all. It is 8:47. I got to skedaddle. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. Have a phenomenal day. Facebook, thank you for joining us. Zoom, thank you for joining us. Click on my YouTube page. A lot of people want to watch the recordings, take our show notes, go to our YouTube page, Brock Zevan's Mindset Motivational YouTube page. Go take a look at that page. Also join our Facebook group where we have all our friends there. I'm talking like Disney now. All our friends are there, all our friends in that Facebook group. Join it, interact, engage with other people. A lot of people ask questions, tell us a little bit about themselves. So love seeing that. So join our Facebook group and our YouTube group. Chad Free will be back tomorrow morning at 8:15 Tuesday, Eastern time. God bless you all. Till then, see ya.